Well, hello everybody. How you doing? My name is Jahmeel Powers, and I am a senior currently at Eastern Michigan University, and I am currently one of the new director of organizational relations through student government. I was just hired there a couple of weeks ago, and I am also studying theater. So I'm a theater student. So I'm involved in quite a few of the productions through Eastern's theater department. And yeah, I just kind of love Easter, basically, pretty much. And that's a little bit about me. My story is I kind of always been a little different from everyone else, basically. And kind of what I mean by that is I'm kind of been one of those guys that's kind of marching to his own drum, sort of. And basically just kind of like, I've kind of always been doing what I think is normal, or whatever is normal for me. Dressing up in bright clothing, kind of like what I am right now. I love to wear pink. I love Hello Kitty. I'm obsessed with her. Gotta love her. I have quite a few things. I actually have Hello Kitty slippers, which I wear around all the time. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, basically, I've kind of grown up in a household where I have just been free to kind of be myself. And especially in high school, like it's a little different there, Not everyone is as kind of supportive of you kind of being who you want to be. And an excellent example of that is because of the kind of the way I dressed and the way I acted, and the fact that I hung out with girls a lot in high school. I had a lot of girls that were friends, but not too many girlfriends. You know what I mean? That kind of a lot of people, quite a few people kind of question kind of my sexual identity. And so there was a little bit of ambiguity about kind of what my sexuality was. But I kind of know, I know that I'm a straight man. But just kind of because of my mannerisms and the clothes I wear and the way I act and the fact that I hung around with a lot of girls, a lot of people didn't think that. And because of that, that kind of frustrated me a little bit in a way, but no one ever really kind of acted upon that, I was never a victim of kind of bullying because people thought that I was gay. There was another kid, definitely in high school, that was kind of in the same boat as me, he kind of had the flamboyant mannerisms, and he hung around with girls a lot. And he was treated a lot differently than I was. He definitely got, well, the short end of the stick, as some people would say. And he was bullied a lot in high school. I guess probably because he didn't fit in, with the cool kids or whatever. And people would always constantly just say like really mean and really cruel things to him. And they would not only question his sexuality, but they would also kind of question his gender. It was like a recurring joke with them. They're like, "Oh my God, is this kid a boy or is he a girl? Like, oh, we don't know which one you are. Ha, so what are you? Are you a boy or a girl? I don't get it." And they would just say things like that to him, and it lasted his whole high school career at high school. Like, just from a freshman, he just got like all of this, all of this making fun of, just people making fun of him, and all this harassment and all he really wanted to do was just be himself. And what kind of broke my heart the most was that he was going through we were very similar, and just for him to take all of that abuse, I just didn't find that to be very fair, and that was very unjust, that he would constantly get picked on by these bigger kids, these more athletic kids, these more heterosexual-esque kids, and he would just get picked on and just bullied and just tortured. And I remember I used to ride the bus with this kid, and he would just get harassed the whole time when all he wanted to do, he just wanted to fit in, he just wanted to have friends, he just wanted to live his life. And he was just going through such a rough time in his life because, in, like, my senior year, he was a couple of years, under me. I was a senior. I think he was like a sophomore, And that year, or like at least a couple of years in the past, I'm not entirely sure, but he lost his mother. So he lost his mother, and I don't think his dad was around very much. So he lived with his grandma, and he couldn't always afford like the best clothing and things like that. So he didn't have the best clothes, so they picked on him for that, and he didn't have a mother, so he didn't really have that support system that I had. That I had for like, oh, it's okay to be different, and it's okay to not fit the stereotype or not fit into the proper clique. Like he didn't have that support system like I had, and I had the potential to be that support system, to stand up to those guys and say, hey, you know what, this is not okay. What you're doing is not okay. Why are you picking on this kid? He's done nothing wrong to you. All he's trying to do is just get through his high school career without any problems, and you're making all these problems for him, and it's not even fair because he's not trying to, he's not causing attention. He's not trying to cause a problem, and you're causing problems for him. And then, when he fires back at you, you get all offended, and then you get even more angry, and that just fuels you more, to start picking on this kid. And, it just wasn't fair. And, I had the opportunity to stand up and say those things to those people, but I didn't. Partly because I didn't know how, I don't think. I didn't know how to do that. And I was still a little self-conscious about kind of what people thought of me still, because people were still kind of questioning me. My sexuality was kind of always in question, but I never got picked on. Well, this kid, he was just going through absolute torture, and I could have been there. I could have been that person to say, that's not okay. Don't do that. Don't treat him like that. What is wrong with you? Like, I could have done that, but I didn't. Partly because of fear, partly because of intimidation, partly because, and I don't want to say this, but partly, I think because I was so much younger, it was mostly because I didn't want to be under fire. You know what I mean? And I say that now, and it's causing me like a lot of this regret. Like, I regret not being there and standing up for that kid, because that's what he needed. He didn't have a mother. Okay, he didn't have a father. He lived with his very sick grandmother, and he didn't really have anybody. He had a small group of friends, but it's hard. It's hard enough through high school, just going through changes and things like that, and then to have all this harassment just kind of come down on you and just be there for no reason. And all he wanted to do, was just make it through day by day. And I couldn't imagine, living my life without my mother, or without having my mother there to say, to come home to, and like, at least to come home to at night, and just say, you know what, tomorrow's gonna be okay. Tomorrow's gonna be another day. You know what I mean? And God, I wish I could go back and be there, and be there for him, and kind of to be that guy that's gonna be like, you know what, it's gonna be okay. And because of that, I have now kind of strived to live my life without fear, without the fear and the intimidation, behind being judged or what people think of me. And you know what? That kid had so much strength. He had so much strength just to go through what he went through and to still graduate, and to still go on with his life. And that inspires me. That inspires me so much to just kind of go out there and see the world and say, hello, world, this is me, You can take it or leave it, and I don't really care what you think. And I hope that this video and maybe other videos will kind of inspire you to know it's going to get better.